Hi, Craig here. Today I want to talk about power. And when we're dealing with electricity and we're talking about power, we want to know what this drill is capable of. How much power does this drill have as opposed to how much power this drill has? So power is measured in watts. Now, horsepower is the imperial version of that. So we'll just put horsepower. And it was founded on how many mags could turn a wheel and create electrical power. So we don't use that too much today when we're dealing with electricity, but it can be converted. There's 746 watts to a horsepower. But since we typically deal with watts, we will rate things in watts. So one of the problems is if I have a light bulb here, it's kind of an airplane landing light bulb, and it draws 2.23 amps. I just measured it a second ago. We have a yellow drill that we talked about, which is 936 watts. We have a black drill, which is 5.5 amps. And we have an LDD, which is 23 milliamps. So the ratings are a little bit here and there. So let's get a level playing ground and figure out how this works. So the formula to figure out watts is power equals E times I. Now you might have seen it written like this, P, E, I, typical of an Ohm's law triangle, and it works the same way. So we can make the three formulas out of that. So if you know one of these things, you can figure out the other. So let's take that, let's take the drill, the bigger drill, 736 watts, 736. And we want to know how many amps it draws. So we know the voltage is 120, and we want to answer for I. So what do? We bring the E under the P, so here it is here. So we're going to say, I'll just give us some room to work here. So we're going to say P over E equals I. So P is 120, what comes out of the socket where we're going to plug the drill in. And E was, no, I got it mixed up here. 120, and E was 936. So that, if we calculate it, goes in, let's say 6, that'd be 720, 7 would be 840, 8 would be 8, 960, 8. So it's about 7.8. I equals 7.8 amps. And you probably shouldn't guess, you should probably get your phone out and do the calculations. So this drill here, which produces 936 watts, is 7.8 amps. As comparison to the smaller drill, this one's 5.5. Now, so how many watts is that? If this is 936, I've actually written it on there, so that is 936 watts if you're purchasing it for the power. What is 550? Well, let's go back and say, okay, we know what the amps are. They're 5.5. We know what the voltage is. So we can times that together. So 5 times 120 is 600. And 5 times 120 is 60. So 660. So where are we? So this one's 660 watts as compared to the 936. So the yellow drill is definitely more powerful. It draws more amps, does more work, is more powerful. So let's look at this light. How many watts is this light? And when I originally got this light, I wanted to know how many watts it was. So I checked the back and I checked the front, and nowhere, oh, maybe that's it there, does it tell me how many watts it is. So I'm trying to figure it out. So what I did is I hooked it up to a battery and I measured the amp flow. So knowing the amp flow, 2.23, amps is 2.23, and it's 12 volts that I hooked it up to, I should be able to figure out the power of this. So let's try it. 2, 2, 3, 2 decimal places. 2 times 3 is 6, 4, 4, and that'd be 3, 2, 2. Add it together, that's 9, 6, 6. And we got 2 decimal places. So 6 amp, or 6 watt light bulb, 6.69 watts is all this light bulb is. So it doesn't use a lot of power. So that's how we figure that out. The final piece that I want to talk about is an LED. So we calculate it the exact same way. 23 milliamps, and we have to turn it into amps. So we move the decimal point 3 places, because milli is the thousand. So 1, 2, 3. So 0.23 amps now. 0.23 amps. Okay, so we're going to say we know the amperage. We know the voltage is 12, which isn't actually right, but let's go with that. So times 0.23, 0.023 times 12, 3 times 2, we better do it the other way. 12 times 0.23, so 2 times that's 6, 4, 0, that'd be 0, 3, 2, 6, 7, 2, 3 decimal places, 0.27 amps. Yes, so that's 27 milliamps is what this little LED is going to draw. So very, very small. We could turn that into watts if we want. No, that is watts. 20, sorry, that's 23 watts, 0.23 watts. So less than a quarter watt. So very small.